It is me again, Saera Burns, and the Invisibles calling from a quite snowy realm out here in BC. I'm by the ocean, everything's, you can't even see past the harbor here. So, how this works for anyone that's new to this is that we get to ask questions for yourself, humanity, or the planet. And if you want to ask a question, you're welcome to either put it on the thread, so that's right beneath, or you can send me a private message. And if for whatever reason I'm not getting your private message and I'm totally talking like over and passing you by, please try again, because sometimes that happens and I don't even notice. I feel bad at the end. So for me, I feel like my question that I want to explore, and actually before going into this, I just want to set the intention that whatever comes up today is for the highest and best good and the highest and best way. And these teachings are here to support you in your path and your work and your dharma for yourself, the planet, and the world. And that using your own discernment, believe it, receive it, leave it, or lend it, to honor if this teaching's for you, if it's really pinging at something in you that wants to be inspired or have more inquisitive thoughts to kind of take you deeper into what's going on. And please do. So with that being said, I'm just going to ring this bell. Hello, everyone, by the way, whoever is on. So I feel like for me, I'm kind of curious about bones, and bones have come up a couple times today. Hello, Donald. Bones have come up a couple times today in relation to some of the sessions I've had, and I kind of want to explore, what do bones on an energetic and on the physical, yet energetic and symbolic and healing perspective, what do they hold for us? So if anyone's aware of, there's this woman called Louise Hay, I believe. Tell me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows her. And so she gets into the ideas that different ailments and different organs, have different qualities, and that those ailments can kind of come about during, because of different things going on. So I'm curious, what do the bones want to speak? Maybe what do the bones want to speak to the collective right now? So teachings of bones. And so if anyone's experiencing bone ailments or have broken bones, and I don't know, I'm curious, might as well put it out there. And for anyone else popping on, please feel free to put your questions on the thread or private message me if you don't want your name associated. Here we go. You can scratch away the surface of any situation, just like you can move away the surface of the skin to find blood, to find circulation, to find the essence that moves through us, right? But when getting into bones, into teachings of the bones, it's important to understand that there is a journey that one goes on, where they find the self, they find the inner parts of themselves, and listen to what's present there, and then begin to reach the surface. So bones are holders of the framework of our identity, your identity, if you choose to believe this. Bones are keepers of structure. They are the palette that holds the body together, that foundation. And so if you're exploring, well, what is it when the bones are speaking out, when the bones are getting broken, when there is fragility in the bones? Perhaps your body is experiencing and expressing that there's something in the core of your being whose fragility is at stake right now. That there's possibly beliefs that are holding you together, that are the foundation. So when working with the bones, getting to what is the foundation of your life? What is the structure holding together the different aspects of your life? How can you create more structure so that you can actually have more fluidity and momentum in your life? So that's the teaching of the bones. And I kind of feel like giving you a little song about bones, and then I'm going to get down to the messages in the order that they've arrived. So here's a bone song. The bones, they hold you like a shell holds a pearl. The bones, they hold you like a nail holds a shelf. Bones, they hold you like the rhythm holds the dawn. And the bones, they hold you so that you may carry on, 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 so that you may carry on. Bone song. All right, let's see what we got here. And hello, everyone popping on to Ask the Invisibles, Mystic Consultations of the Soul. All right, so we've got a question from Nuno Barros. I'm going to show that. Here we go. So this is for you, Nuno. And Nuno says, hi, Sarah, how are you? I am doing pretty good. I'm cozy and warm. The outside world is snowy. Does the Invisibles have anything for me? Thank you. Okay, let's see what they have to say. So to alleviate the pain, specifically not to embarrass you, but in your rectorial muscles, so in how you hold your lower area of your body, we feel that there's like a tension possibly, or clenching. So we want you to explore softening and also working on that lower diaphragm breathing, working on developing your pelvic floor muscles possibly, this lower area. And why we're saying that is that if that represents the seed or the foundation, much like we were talking about the bones representing the structure for your life, that this area, this lower area, there's not a resisting, but allowing that's important for you to start embracing in your life. Now, this allowing has different ways of coming into being. You can allow yourself to relax into different stories that are inspiring for you. And notice if there's any doubt or apprehension, that what would it be to really relax and be susceptible to the inspiration from that without having to fully take it on as your own. So sometimes people live experiences that are inspiring and dynamic, nourishing on so many levels. And it doesn't mean that through witnessing those experiences in others, we have to use that as a blueprint for our own success, or as a blueprint to show us how we may be, what's that word? They're kind of showing me this image of just being aware if you're exploring or like witnessing maybe different people in your life, and in that witnessing, feeling that they kind of represent, or they're kind of showing this idea of success. So what is success? You know, that's a great question. It's like, what is success in the way that it's been shown to you in the world? What is success in your own, oh, hi, Smila. What is success in your own personal understanding of the word? Like, what are some things that if you were able to do that, you know that that would be actually a pretty amazing thing, even if it's something that somebody might have developed like years ago, right, in themselves. So the word of success is really important in this story, because what they're bringing up is to know that, and this is for anyone else, that we can be inspired by the amazing individuals in this world or in our life. They're doing incredible things, but that doesn't mean that whatever path we're on is not being explored to its fullest. So they say that there's a few more areas you could definitely work on, but exploring that, how can you be inspired by the world around you without feeling like it's deterring from your feeling of success? Okay, so that's a little bit of what they wanted to share. I hope that's helpful. Thank you. All right, I think we have a private message. Oh, it looks like my mom's on. Hi, Mom. I know you have difficulties actually getting messages to me, but I see your little thumbs up. You did it. All right, so I'm just getting to this message. And for anyone else popping on, first of all, hello. I hope you're having an amazing day or night. I know people jump off from all over the world. If you feel like sharing where you are while I'm loading this message, you're welcome to. I am calling from Salt Spring Island, BC, Canada, where the snow is gently falling, and my internet is slowly slowing down. Uh-oh, I hope you guys can see me. It's just taking a while. Okay. Come on. All right, here we go. So the question is an anonymous question. So if you have an anonymous question, feel free to send me a private message. And the question says, I'm wondering if there are any guidance for me around taking a job that has recently been offered to me to manage a small team of interns on the island. It doesn't feel like a perfect match for me, but I'm curious what the Invisibles feel about it. Thank you. All right, let's see what they've got to say. We've got someone in the UK. Wow. Nuno's calling from the UK. Oh, and you're so very welcome. I hope that's been very helpful. Yes, that's the intention. All right, so this is regarding a question about somebody's potential to take on interns, and if the Invisibles have any little senses or smells to that. Let's see. One of the things we want you to definitely experience when you're considering this potential, which congratulations, because knowing that there's opportunities arising means that there is a natural magnetism. But of course, in this natural magnetism and in this balancing and refining, where are you magnetizing? Where are you attracting from? What place in yourself, what prayers in yourself are bringing in these opportunities? And then is that opportunity an opportunity for you to really navigate your sense of trusting in the potential other options that haven't arisen, right? But specifically for you, we want you to explore with this option how your solar plexus feels when you consider You can even gently walk yourself through the idea or the feeling of waking up in the morning, whatever your morning routine to get ready for work would be. And while in this visualization, as you're getting ready to go to this job, whatever you need to do to prepare for that, how does your solar plexus feel? Okay. Do you feel like there's a pulling that's coming from your desire to do this, or do you feel like it's an obligatory responsibility to taking on anything at this point, or to embodying some sort of role in your life to have structure, which we think is important? Okay. We think that the structure is going to help you really understand the different areas that need to be developed. So why we're saying bring it to the solar plexus is because as much as structure and taking on jobs can also be more root-centered, more support, more foundation, which seems like the key words of this council. We want you to explore what is the solar plexus, because the solar plexus is what we want you to develop, what we see as important to your development. Because if you can feel in good relation with your willpower, then you will be able to support the willpower in others. You'll be able to be an amazing instigator. So that's the main thing we want to do. The other last detail is, can you listen to a recording? So take a recording of yourself expressing how you or what you do, just pretending you've gotten this job, expressing, hello, I am your name. I have been doing this for a living, or I'm taking on these interns, teaching this or supporting this. And then play it back to yourself. And this can go for anyone that's curious about listening to how they feel about what they're doing, right? What they're doing with their life. So playing back that message of you saying that. And at the same time, you can also explore, how does your body feel? Where does that sit in yourself? And you'll know if it feels right to have those reflections. And if you're going to take it, we definitely think at least committing to 3 to 6 months. We don't know how long the situation is, but thank you. All right, so everyone, moving on. So the next person we have is Smila, calling from Berlin, only because I think you're there. And so, or Francesca says, hey dear, is there anything the Invisibles have to say to me concerning my personal journey towards abundance in my current life and my focus on changing my relationship to abundance in order to welcome and hold abundance? And specifically, I'm guessing you're referring, when you say abundance, are you referring to money? Or are you referring to, because I know like one thing is when working with abundance, if it's really money that you want, get really clear that you want money, because there's different ways to hold abundance. So I'm guessing that you're exploring money. Is that correct? Or exploring abundance in friends, abundance in opportunities. I'm just going to answer for them. We'll see what they've got to say. Clarifying who you need to be that requires the abundance in your life is very important. For money and the physical plane like to have an outlet, okay? So getting very clear with just how much money How much finances are needed for you to have a certain level of foundation that will help you get to the next tier of what it feels like to be abundant? So if it's the structure of how much do you need to make rent? How much do you need to have a good, a healthy, we don't want to say healthy, a nourishing experience with food in your life? To be able to go and take care of your body through movement, through art, through events that invigorate your senses. And to get a good idea, if you haven't already, of what does that actually look like. So how much money would you need to have at least that? Okay. Give or take. And why we're bringing up the importance of creating the constructs around what's needed is that it begins working with the yang principles. Okay. Oh, they're popping out. So they're kind of showing me this idea that, something that somebody showed me once. I don't have a pen, but I'll use my hands. I think it's reversed, so maybe I'll go like this. Okay. Somebody showed me once this symbol for money, which is, okay, where we start. So it goes like this. Oh, everything's reversed on here. Okay. So money goes like Shakti. Okay, so that's the S. So that's Shakti being like the feminine. And then it goes like Shiva, like the masculine. So that Shiva, those lines of support, that masculine that is like holding the Shakti, right? That's allowing the feminine to move through. So in the dance with money, exploring, there might be enough Shakti, you might have the energy within you that's pouring through and bubbling through, and that excitement, that juiciness, but without the Shiva, without the yang structure. We get into structure again. It's all about structure. This is a structure episode. And part of structure is learning how to really use the mind and like things like accounting, like really getting into the fine details of like what are those details of like very concretely that you need. Okay. And then there's different ways. Actually, I think last week I had an abundance, or maybe I've given it to you before, never mind. Let's keep going. Keeping an arm to the air is one thing. Raising your hand to the universe to remind yourself that you are still putting yourself out there is one thing. But to hold the finances, there needs to be an aspect of your life that is constantly engaging in creating that momentum and that fluidity. And then an aspect of the life that is constantly holding a certain amount accountable energetically too. So becoming comfortable with what does it feel like when you look in your bank account and you always energetically and actually would have double the amount of money. That's your base money at the end of the month, at the beginning of the month. And so how you can explore this is, so they're kind of showing me that would be something to actually like write down and to like keep affirming in your own way. So, there's different abundance things where you can like write blank checks to yourself or checks for how much you need. And like every time you go through your wallet, you see that. But to have this number, and of course not letting this number like make you feel like belittled if you're not reaching that number, but like having a really solid number of like what's double of what you need, your base levels for a year or for a month. A year would be great. And then writing that down and having that in a place where, if it's a check, if you want to just have a check or something that shows you so that you can keep seeing those numbers, And then in that, seeing that numbers, I think the next stage would be getting into how can you, it's like, I feel like this is a longer conversation, but how can you support it's like, how can you call in, if you're going to be looking for jobs or work environments that naturally have the opportunity for you to use that masculine, that yang quality and that yin quality, that there's that in being able to, like, some jobs might be more passive, but what I'm seeing is, like, if you're looking for a job, or maybe you already have one, but like something that has a lot of structure, or even when you're working with your business, that there needs to be like a very like direct amount of structure involved to be able to hold the abundance, to be able to hold that money in your life, because it seems like the structure is where energy is kind of slipping through, and you need to be able to hold it. You need that reservoir. I don't know if that makes sense, but there's a little money prayer. Oh, and they have one more thing. So this is a little gift for everyone. So everyone watching, this is a little affirmation, abundance affirmation. If you want, you can say it after us, or just write it down, or just listen. I allow the prosperity that is innately embodied in my body. I allow that connection to the ever-giving, flowing, creative, restorative, replenishing energy of this planet to come into how I create my relationship with money. So in a nutshell, I allow myself to be embodiments, or to be an embodiment of the divine restorative, replenishing giving qualities of the earth in how I approach money in my life. So you can play around with the words. I don't totally know if that flowed really well, but the main idea is, in your prayers and working with money, is working and praying with the frequency of the earth herself, because she is one hecka amazing, abundant, restorative, replenishing masterpiece. And when realigning yourself with the blueprint of abundance, encouraging you to really start with this planet, and learn from her qualities and how she does that, and duplicate it in your own ways. So, oops, and we've got Donnie. Sorry, Donnie, somehow your message, I skipped over it. I don't even know how that happened. All right, so this is for you, Donnie. I hope you are still here. All right. So Donnie says, do you have anything for me today? Thank you, my friend. Let's see. First of all, we want to say keep it going. Not necessarily the career part, but the part of you that knows what you need to do. Okay? Because it's that knowing that's one thing. Of course, taking action, now that requires sifting through a lot of insecurities in some cases, or discontinuing agendas that are not in alignment with where you are going. So this also means agendas and the people that are held close and dear to you. So do you have people in your life that are growing away from the direction that you are going in? Are there places that you frequent, whether it's a coffee shop or a bar, a place, not, are there places that you frequent that might not actually be supporting the quality or the essence of the life that you're seeking? So yes, this may seem silly to be able to see how what coffee shop you choose represents how you're living your life, but it does, it can, right? Because a coffee shop itself is a hub, right? It naturally draws certain beings to it for different reasons. Maybe the good food, maybe the Wi-Fi connection, but mostly it's because of the environment that's created and the people that come there. So if you're exploring or going into environments, whether it's a group environment or a practice that maybe you've been going to, or a place where people gather, really listen, is this gathering, is this soup of beings supportive of the direction I'm going in life? Or does it feel like perhaps you've grown into a different place in yourself? Okay? So that's something to explore. And the last thing we'll say is, I don't even understand what that means, but I heard, if leaving the door open, remember to close the pantry. I have no idea what that means, but that's me not censoring myself. All right, there you go, Donnie. I hope that was helpful. And hello, everyone, by the way, who has popped on, and everyone who's here watching and popping off. I think we actually, I'm going to check my private messages, but we might actually have space. So if you haven't asked a question and you really want to, if you're my mom, hey, Betty Ann, and you're having issues, you can send me an email to Deep Soul Journeys, or you can text me if that's helpful. So let's see if we have any questions coming up. So the theme that's been coming up today is also foundation and structure. So if you feel like playing in with that theme, whether it's maybe some structure that could benefit you in your life, some routines, some ways of developing, that's one way of doing that. As for private messages, let's see. Let's see, take me a little bit to dig. And if you sent me a message and I'm not reading it, please remind me. Let's see here. Okay, I think we're good. So I think we can just get into the Mystic Council at this point, if there's no more questions, or oh, hey, Scott. It's been a long time. Yeah, still doing it. All right, so I feel like just exploring. This is a part where let's just see what the invisibles have to say for whoever's here. So this is going to be a group little offering, a group council. So let's see. We welcome the song of your choice to ring loud and clear, so that you know that your voice is directing you away from what you fear. Do not instigate, but remediate the choices that have been made from a fallen fate. Do not elaborate where there can be only peace and not hate. Because in the journey of the unwinding you must remember that there is a core strength that is forever true. That there is a pathway that brings you from the root to the sky. And there ain't nobody that'll learn how to fly beyond you and the great Most High. So take on that flight, dear ones. Allow not the night to creep in like a fallen cloud upon the earth. But let that dawn and that mist be what releases any curse. You are the children of the 8 shields within. The strength of eternity, the directions is where you begin. So do not leave the door locked when the opening is true, because guests are awaiting the invitation from you. It is not in the closure, but in the truth that you hold. The wisdom, and the truth, you must be bold. For strength is not a place that crumples at the touch of haste to make forward with your truth, with your actions, but strength is that unbinding willow. That trunk is strong, so its branches may be limber. Allow yourself to hold the parts of you that need structure, aligned and sure. But the fluidity, the receptivity, is what you must support to unfurl. And so in this poem, in this prayer, we understand that without the dynamics at hand, you may never have learned to care. So honoring the circumstances where they brought you to this place, to this voice, to this choice, to being part of the human race, and allowing the union of the seen and the unseen to awaken, to inspire, and to surely remind you who's king, who's queen, and who is that divine right in between. Thank you. Ooh, that was really fun. I don't know if that guy's ever spoke before. That was a good one. A little poetry for you all, the Mystic Council. So I just want to thank you all for popping on. It's been super lovely. Unless there's any other questions, I'm going to pop off. But before popping off, if anyone wants to, say where you are or put a random word in or maybe tell me what the sky looks like outside. I've got snow. Let's see. I don't know if you can see it, but let's see. I don't know if you see it. There's snow coming through that window. Oh, my daughter's out there in the snow near school in the forest. All right. So blessings to you all, and I appreciate you really bringing your presence and awareness and focus and sitting with me this beautiful Wednesday. And so for anyone that's new, this happens every Wednesday unless I'm on tour and I just can't make it happen, or if for whatever reason I'm not able to, but I've pretty much only missed, I think, a couple Wednesdays in this is my 36th week of doing this. And so for anyone that feels called to actually have a longer session with me, you're welcome to go on my website, which is deepsouljourneys.com. And I'm doing by donation Ask the Invisibles on Wednesdays. I've been doing that specific for people on the island, but if you feel really called to having a little mini 30-minute consultation, we can do that through Skype. It does fill up quick, so I encourage you to book it. And I love you all so much, wherever you be, wherever you are. Blessings.